I just realised I've been on for about 9 minutes now. I've not spoken at all. I was doing something in the background. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm going to be doing a bit of work in the background here, just for a little while. And don't get back into talking. We'll have a proper chat about things. But I'm just getting some work done. I've got a lot of creative energy in me at the moment, so I want to capitalise on that and make use of it. So yeah, I'm just going to work in the background. I'm working on a script for something. Actually, I've got 2 scripts I'm working on the moment for projects in the future. One of them is a small thing, one of them is a larger thing. So yeah, I'm going to get on working with that. So yeah. But no, yeah, we'll be able to chat about things. If anyone wants to recommend any music to put on, we can do in the background. I have to tell you, I'll put that as a bit of text on here as well. What? That text is way too big. Working in background. Feel free to recommend music. There we go, folks. Sort of recommend right there. What the heck did I just do? That's a bit too small now, isn't it? Oh dear, what have I done here? I spelled working wrong as well. God damn it. Oh dear me, oh my. Oh yeah. Actually, I've always wondered, can you like change the... Can you like change the thingy on it? I wonder. Color. I was hoping you could like change the highlight. If there's like a lining option you can do on it, but maybe there's not. Maybe just changing to black for this actually be good. What about this? No, it doesn't work because Gengar's purple as well, isn't he? Man, none of these colours work, do they? Tell you what, actually. Font. Let's change the font to something thicker. Actually, we can just make it bold, can't we? That's a bit better. And then we can change the colour to like black or white. Dun do ba bi ba bi la ba bum. There we go. Yeah, if anyone wants to recommend the music, feel free to. I do wonder if I should be, like, talking as I'm working, actually, if I'm doing, like, work on stream, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if I normally haven't done this before. I just thought I'd go live whilst I'm working in the background, so maybe a good idea to talk. But the thing is, as I've mentioned before on stream, I'm not a great multitasker, and a lot of it will just be listening to me typing, so I don't know if I have much to say regarding that. I guess it'll be done soon. At least on this bit, then I can maybe do something else later. I was going to say there something. Yeah, I was watching some videos about Star Wars yesterday. I don't normally watch Star Wars videos. I was watching videos all about how, like, Qui-Gon Jinn was, like, once one of the most feared Jedi Knights ever by Darth Plagueis and Darth Sidious, because he was more willing to just go along with the Force's will and obey the Force's will as opposed to even if it put him at odds with the Jedi Council, which is really interesting. And like explain how Luke Skywalker is like potentially the greatest Jedi to ever live. Not the Disney sequel versions. That guy sucks. But like the one from like the original films and the world expanded after that in the decades between its original release. I was like, damn, Luke Skywalker can do all these cool things later in his life I didn't know about, which is really interesting because in the films you don't see him train that much. He has a bit of training under Obi-Wan Kenobi, and a bit of training, and I imagine he has quite a bit of training under Yoda. We just don't see most of it because it's off film. I'm working on a script for a little comic dub here, though I don't know if this is necessarily be allowed, but also it's like one of those things where like I'm so small that it probably wouldn't matter. But hey, as long as I can be able to do it, that's the main thing. It's just to build a even as a little portfolio things at the moment. Just trying to build up portfolio stuff for myself so I can get some more some representation for like an acting agency and such. So they treat like YouTube as just a portfolio thing. That'd be better. So you can just see a lot of my little typings. Hello, Limette. How are you doing? I'm just finishing up some writings for a little script thingamabob jingy. I've never really done a working stream before. It's kind of weird to do. I'll take the eye off. I think I've mentioned before, I'm very not good at multitasking. If I am working on something, I am working on it, and outside of that, I will struggle to interact with people. I found when I tried to do puzzle games on streams before, I'm not very good at those, not because I'm bad at puzzle games, but because I want to focus on the puzzle that I don't talk with anyone. I will go silent, and it is not a good thing to stream. But I'm just writing a script here. I mentioned yesterday that I'm trying to get some representation at the moment. So I figure just having some more things to, I guess, fill out my portfolio would be nice to do. Which, as soon as I started to think of, like, doing YouTube stuff as more like it's a way to build your portfolio, I thought, oh, that's not terribly difficult to do then. So even if it's just like a few little voiceover things, that's not bad. But yeah, I've been looking at like active like agencies near where I am. A lot of them are looking for like a show reel already, which I need to get. You can pay companies which do show reels to film you and make one for you, but it also depends on what you're doing as well. So I wouldn't mind doing either physical or voice work, so I guess having both is good. So I think just having some variety would be nice. But let's just save that actually before we lose it. Oh, where'd I go? There we are. Okay, that should be fine for now. I think. Yes, no? Yes, no, maybe. I can't hear you. Can you repeat the question? You're not the boss of me now. You're not the boss of me now. You are so brave. I am but a cowardly little fool, Limette. It has taken me so long to figure out I kind of hate being alive, and I want to do something which I do not hate anymore. Though it also helps that at the moment I am filled with creative juices, and I have this desire to want to do more things, to cease my current situation and do something more with my lot in life. Will I succeed in that? That is a different question. But, as they say, the journey of 1,000 steps starts with the first. I was asking around with some associates I made at this play I was in recently, and they were saying, "Oh, I'll ask around for you." I was also looking up an old acting agency, which when I was much younger than I am now, I was in an acting agency. No, it was lessons which had an agency attached to it, I guess would be the correct way of putting it. Yeah. And I was looking it up and like, this doesn't seem right. I was told one name and like, this doesn't seem like the right place. And then I had to look further into it and like, oh no, it was a different place. And the guy who used to run this thing died a couple of years ago. And I'm like, man, well, that's okay. But yeah, I'm but an old fool now, just trying to do a bit more than survive. You know, might as well try and make your dreams work. What's that? There's a very funny thing. You make it's still brave. Thank you, I appreciate that, Limette. Your encouragement is lovely to hear, so thank you. It's nice to get that encouragement. The people at home around me don't offer that kind of encouragement. It's always like, oh, why haven't you done this yet? Rather than just like, hey, you've done a good job so far. I think that's maybe just like familial things, but it's like, why haven't you done this yet? It kind of feels like oh, why haven't you gotten married yet? But it's like similar kind of vibe. It's not, hey, you've done this great thing, that's cool, or you've done this thing, you've made a start in it, that's a good point, keep at it. It's always, oh, well, you've done that, why haven't you done this yet? Maybe that's just parents being parents. Maybe that's just parents being parents, I don't know. But yeah, so thank you, Limax, I do appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. Did I save this? I did save it. I'll record this later on. Oh shit, speaking of recordings, I have like 3 audios I need to edit down to about like a minute in length each, just to send as little samples to this guy who I got in contact with a while ago. This one's like, how long is this? Oh god, that's not good. That's like 6 minutes. Though also a lot of them are like bad takes, so it's like finding the good takes and the bad takes, as well as like trimming down. Okay, what of these does not need to be sent here? What can just be cut down, just like a brief snippet of like, hey, here are my chops. Oh god, I hit my microphone. Here are my acting chops. I hit microphones. That's all you got. That's all you got going for me. Hey. It's a shame though. A lot of places do not have things which say, here's how you can sign up for working with us, or even places submit things. So I'm having to make do with scrounging around for information. It feels kind of fun though, in a way. It's almost like being a detective. You know, when you're having to like look for information about these things. Or it kind of brings me back to my old student days. Both on the time I did it was a student a couple of years ago, and the times I've been a student in the past several hundred years. It's all very much like doing your own research and things for essays and such, and dissertations and the like. Just sleuthing for emails, excellent. It is a bit monotonous though, honestly. I think it's kind of my current day job outside of this is monotonous in and of itself. So I'd rather change the one-sided monotony of that for a more diverse form of it. But yeah, a lot of them are not easy to contact, which it makes me mad. It makes me mad. But also I understand that it's a very closed group. It's a closed sphere, right? I mean, you do art for a living. I'm sure you've had more than your fair share of difficulties with trying to make a name for yourself within an industry which is insanely competitive as is, right? I think as well, I'm sure you understand this as well, like, I think a lot of the times with these kind of more creative endeavors, a lot of people have these big dreams and such. Like, I think a lot of the time, you were talking about commercial work yesterday on your stream. I think a lot of times you also, whilst you can still be creative and stuff in your work, you also have to understand that it won't be like the glamorous thing a lot of the time you want. Like, I think of like, you know, a lot of acting work where you will not be getting large roles. You'll maybe get small roles in advertisements, maybe, or something like that. A lot of voiceover, especially in the UK, will be I think I've mentioned this before the other week. It will be advertisement work. I'm like, oh, I want to voice an anime. No. Also, that does not pay very well. A lot of the times, it doesn't pay well. The exception can be if you get a role in a show which has a massive series, like, I don't know, Yuri Lowenthal got cast in Naruto, and he's come back to play Sasuke in all the games and such since. He's probably, so it's guaranteed him work over the years, essentially. That's just an example. But, actually, same with Ben 10 as well, though Ben 10 probably also paid better because it's not dubbing a existing series. It's an original dub for it. But, yeah, so a lot of it will be, like, voiceover work. I'd love to do audiobooks. when I mentioned getting in contact with this guy before, I originally got in contact with him after I sent an email to a publishing company asking about, hey, do you sign up people for audio work? I understand this is probably the wrong email to contact, but I thought, why not give it a shot? And they were very kind in sending me the contact, forwarding my email to the guy who was normally in charge of it. And he's very, very supportive. Turns out, actually, a lot of people want you to do it seems as though, from what I've experienced, a lot of people who are in the industry and have potential positions of authority in the industry want you to do well because they want good people. They want people who are good at their jobs to perform or record things for them, whether that be, again, a short advert or a feature-length film. People want good actors. And I'm sure it's the same for you. People want good artists, right? Now, what the art you end up getting jobs for is what you want at the end of the day, who knows? But there's always room for diversity. This actually reminds me. So there's a mangaka I really like called Hideaki Yoshikawa. He does a lot of, he does a lot of like lewd stuff, but he's very good. He's got a lot of really nice stuff. It's pretty saucy stuff, but it's really sad actually. So I follow him on Twitter, and he was showing like hints and designs for characters for this series he'd been working for well over a year, I think almost 2 years actually, and it was really sad because, like, I think at the end of May, he had to announce that unfortunately the series will be ending after only 5 chapters due to issues which have emerged. And it's like, that's how? And like, it doesn't seem, obviously there's very little information he's able to give. It's unlikely a popularity thing. It's ridiculously unlikely to gain any kind of idea of popularity from when your series hasn't even reached 5 chapters yet. So it's likely people speculated that it's likely some kind of licensing or copyright issue with the series, which is a real shame. He was very disappointed, but there's a lot of like outpouring of support for him, because it was like, this is the series he's been working on for so long, and he's already having to axe it off due to things which are probably beyond his control at this point, which is a real shame. Bit of grunt work where you can get to the nice stuff, yeah. I mean, that always happens, though. I think it doesn't have to be bad work if it's grunt work, you know what I mean? Though, my current job at the moment, I don't like it, but it pays the bills. Not to mention, have I said this before? I don't work full-time at the moment. I was originally working full-time, and then I realized, man, I'm gonna beat myself if I keep doing this. And they were very kind to allow me to work part-time hours instead, which I think is better for my mental health overall, but now I just need to be, like, proactive in doing other things. So, yeah. And, like, trying to find the grunt work as a stepping stone, really. Many things to do. Many things to do. Many things to see. Many things to contact, actually. Hang on, I had a list. Oh no. Where's it gone? Oh dear me. Found it. Hang on. I have returned with a vengeance. I have found my special list of things I recorded when I initially had a phone call with the fine gentleman I mentioned beforehand, who I wish to send things to. I think it's especially difficult, for that too is a super tight circle, absolutely. But no, as I was saying before, it's like, it's uncommon to find a lot of voiceover work in the UK, which is not like children's shows or commercials. Like advertisement work is probably the most common thing you'll find. There are not a lot of series, TV shows, which are dubbed in the UK unless they are UK originals, which seems extremely rare. Again, children's shows are probably the most common thing you'll find. Things like Peppa Pig are huge, but a lot of the times you won't see that many shows. There has been a surprising increase in games which have been dubbed in like the UK. Obviously, there are other things like medieval fantasies and things like that, which people will give get like UK dubbers to do, and like I think like I've not played it. I think Final Fantasy 16 had a mostly British cast. I know FF14 does as well. It used to have like an American cast, and the acting in that game used to be terrible, and then they recast everyone, and then it got a lot better. But yeah. I guess you want like a European fantasy vibe. A lot of people will like go for like a UK dubbing. I think a lot of English voicing is moving a bit out of the US. I have noticed that a bit, yeah. I think of like, have you ever played Xenoblade Chronicles? Oh my god, hang on. There's a really cool track I want to put in actually from Xenoblade Chronicles. Oh, actually, there's two really good tracks. Xenoblade. If you've never played Xenoblade Chronicles, you should. It's really good. I've never finished it, but it's really good. It's called Goai Plains. Or Gower Plains, even. Yeah. It's very funky. So this game is a really interesting game, actually. It kind of came out along with like 3 other big RPGs on the Wii, none of which were dubbed in the US. By the way, is my mic peaking? It looks like it's peaking. I feel like I'm being too loud. Let me know if I need to adjust the volume at all. But yeah, so on the Wii, there were these like 3 games: Xenoblade Chronicles, The Last Story, and Pandora's Tower, which are these like 3 Japanese RPGs. Actually, it was Pandora's Tower an RPG? It's more like a hack and slash. Sounds fine. Excellent. All of them were not released in the US initially, because they did not believe they would sell well. The Wii was dwindling in sales in the US, as were RPG sales. This was back in like, I want to say like early 2010s, I think. Early 2010s or something like that, maybe like late 2000s, where RPGs were not selling well in America. The Wii was on a decline in America, so they didn't bother releasing them. They did release them in Europe though. And because they were European releases only, they got British dubs for them. And Xenoblade Chronicles is a really good dub. One of my favorite. There's a bunch of like really good lines in it as well. It's like one of your main guys is Ryan. Oh, you're right, I'm Ryan, innit? He talks like that, and they always have fun little quips and quotes. There's tons of them, and you'll do a fight, and if you got him and one of the other characters, Charlotte, and he's trying to like impress, like, oh Charlotte, did you see me, Charlotte? Did you see me? And like, oh, I wasn't really looking actually, and like that's really funny. Also, Jenna Coleman was in. If you don't know Jenna Coleman, she was in Doctor Who. She was Clara in one of the series of Doctor Who. I'm not a super big Doctor Who fan, so I don't know which season she was in. But yeah, this was like before she got into Doctor Who, which was really interesting. She played one of the main characters of the game. I don't believe she came back in the future, probably because she's like too big of a name now. But yeah, it was this like thing where the games were only released. Last Story and Pandora's Tower also had this as well. They were only released in outside Japan in like European markets, and so the English dubs were all British. I think eventually they were released in America, but only like several years after they initially released. I think 2 or 3 years. I think it was. It was a fairly long time. I remember being like, oh, they're actually. It's being surprised that they're actually getting them now. I guess there was enough outcry for it. But yeah, I don't know if they're sold as well over there. I'm not sure. I know Xenoblade Chronicles 2 had like both British and American actors in it. I know one of the characters in the dub of Xenoblade 2 is like Welsh. She's this like Welsh cat lady. She's very funny. Also, I think some of the actors in that game though are not very good. Xenoblade 2 has a seemingly less talented cast than the first game did. But yeah, there's a lot of like really good voice lines from Xenoblade, which are really like iconic. like probably the most commonly used line is the main character Xenoblade 1. His name is Shulk. He has this line like, "I'm really feeling it." It's like become like a joke now, and it's like just because everyone's like, "Yeah, I'm really feeling it." And when if someone plays Shulk in Super Smash Brothers, the chant for it, there'll always be chants for people, and people for like who are playing Shulk, people will be like, "Feeling it, feeling it, feeling." Oh, hang on. What was the other one I wanted? Xenoblade. You will know our names. Wait. You will know our name. This is like the theme for mini bosses in the game. This is really cool. Let me know if is it. Can you hear it? Okay. It sounds really cool. Excellent. Yeah, I think there is like a movement outside of America for it. I don't know. I don't know if you heard any of the recent controversies regarding Genshin Impact and like SAG-AFTRA actors like going on a strike. Maybe that's one of the reasons why, I don't know. Apparently SAG-AFTRA though is not like very good, and it seems not to be more of an issue with how bad like American unions are in general. American work unions seem almost completely useless. Yeah, American work unions seem just like they don't do anything. They have next to no authority. Yeah, I that was like the weirdest thing of all. It was a very odd situation. I guess it's still ongoing technically, but I know it's led to the game dropping in quality for a lot of people, where a lot of scenes which should have actors in them do not have any voiceover whatsoever. They are starting. I know they had recast some of them already. I know like this happened in Zenless. One of the characters for was it the Wolfman who everyone wants to fuck? Is it Lycoon or something like that? Lycion? Something like that. I know he got recast after the actor was on strike for a while, and it's like okay. Yeah, I feel like a lot of it has kind of come about as a result of misinformation on both actors and fan sides, and this all could have been avoided if people were more open with communication about it. It's a real shame. You know, I'm always I am normally in favor of like actors and getting the pay they want. And generally in support of that. You know, I think creatives should get what they want and need and such. I thought it was regarding pay though initially. Apparently it was about and I'm like, you know what? If these people are getting not paid enough and they think they should be getting paid more, especially in America, which has terrible rules and laws about fair pay, I think yes, you should be allowed to do that. And they're entitled to this right. But apparently it wasn't about the pay at all. It was about wanting to make sure that their voices were not used for AI purposes. And I think that's also very fair. I think that's extremely fair, because it's a scary thing. People can have their voices taken by AI and used for all sorts of weird things. And it's an uncomfortable idea. It is. By the way, I'm sorry, I don't know how... I know AI voices can be really advanced. You can tell when something's AI. And I'm like, ugh, this guy sounds so fucking boring. There's videos I'll see, and I'm like, oh, what's this interesting? And it looks like, oh, here's a weird thing about superheroes. Like, okay, I'll watch this. And then it's like, it's an AI voice, and I'm like, this guy sounds so bored. It's a boring voice to listen to, and like, I don't know. I don't understand how, like, you have entire channels based around AI voices. Nightbot deleted distressing whiskeys Distressing waste baskets. Oh, what was this? Oh, right, okay. Someone was posting a weird link. The weird thing is that China's AI. I saw this as well. What was the guy? What's that channel? Was it Muujin? Muujin made a whole video about it. I think is it Muujin? I think his name is Muujin. So the Genshin actors could be covered for that project. I think it's just a lot of misinformation. Yeah. I think it's also a lot of like trying to like sing the praises of SAG-AFTRA, whilst also not recognizing that there's there can and there are better alternatives out there in the world, when SAG-AFTRA seems extremely incompetent and pretty scummy a lot of the time. And then it's also gotten into whole things like, oh well, people should be cast because of ethnicity, and I'm like, no, listen, if you're like on like a play or a TV show and you're wanting a character with like a certain skin tone, that's fair. That's fine. If that's what you want and it's what the script demands, that's fine. If you're doing voice work for characters who you will not see for actors who you will not see the face of, I don't care what you look like IRL. I don't care who you are. I think if you have the talent for it, you should do it. I mean, people complain at this because it's like white actors playing non-white roles, and people get upset about that. But then people forget things like, oh, well, Samurai Jack. Who was the actor who played Samurai Jack, actually? He was very cool. Samurai Jack. The actor for Samurai Jack, I believe, was not... What? Samurai Jack actor. He was black, I believe. Actor. What's his name? He's very cool. It was Phil Lamar? No way. I didn't realize it was Phil... oh, man. I didn't know it was Phil Lamar. Damn. Okay. But Phil Lamar, other things he's been in, he was like Wilt in Foster's Home, by the way. Foster's Home for Imaginary. He was Wilt, the big long dude who played basketball and has like a broken stubby arm. And wait, was he in Metal Gear? Was he Vamp in Metal Gear? I think he was Vamp in Metal Gear. He was Hermes in Futurama. Very cool dude. He's in a lot of cool roles. A lot of roles where you'd probably like recognize. You'd probably know him if you heard him. Very pro-union, but I think I need a separate voice. I don't think SAG-AFTRA really. I don't. Okay. So there's a lot of very bizarre rulings regarding SAG-AFTRA. There's a lot of very weird rulings about SAG-AFTRA, which I don't understand. Listen, maybe this is European brain here. I don't understand why or how they are a thing. Like, rulings regarding not being able to be on projects with non-SAG-AFTRA actors is apparently a thing, which has fucked over a lot of actors on roles they can have. Which is bizarre to me, honestly. It's truly bizarre that can be a ruling that can be upheld. I don't understand how that can happen. But hey, what do I know? I'm trying to find Phil Lamar Metal Gear. Was he Vamp in Metal Gear? Because that's really cool. He was Vamp. Interesting. Man, maybe I've not heard. Either he's got like fantastic range, or like I just never would have been able to tell. Vamp is this like vaguely Eastern European dude who's like a vampire, but also kind of not. He's like a weird sci-fi vampire. I have a SAG-AFTRA story that is unfortunately very doxy, but there's a lot of weird internal politics I've heard of hierarchy. I shall not ask further then. It's okay. But yeah, there's ooh, I don't know. I think the idea as well that it's such an exorbitant fee to join it initially as well. Anywhere from between $3,000 to $4,000 is frankly insane to have potential protection from a workers' union, what should be a workers' union, but does not seem to work that way. Again, I think a lot of this is kind of like, I don't know, like a lot of it seems to highlight how rather than just like a lot of these actors have been misinformed, or at the very least leading like they're starting fights. By the way, some people picking on other that's gross, right? Don't do that. People being like, oh well, I'm sure you can afford it. You afford to live. You have a wife and stuff. It's like, why are you getting roles? Like, excuse me, what? Which was happening with, I think, the actress for Paimon was like dunking on this one guy for picking a role when he shouldn't have done. When he's like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have taken this role from the guy. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's incredibly gross. They don't get the healthcare until you make almost 30,000 just from just acting. That's insane. That is wild. Yeah, no. Is SAG-AFTRA a thing in Canada, or is it just like the US? Actually, what are Canada's rulings regarding different? Oh, I just forgot the word. I just mentioned the word. Oh my goodness. Workers' unions. Like, obviously there's a lot of like French influence in Canada as well. I'm thinking maybe with both the French and the British influence on Canada today, maybe there's some better hope. Some actors here are SAG-AFTRA, depends on if you work in US films or not. I see. Actually, I did hear a while ago that what is it now? That like so many series were like filmed in Canada. A group called Ocean Dubbing, and the Ocean Group used to dub a lot of series in Canada. A lot of anime and stuff used to be dubbed by Oceans, but like it got really expensive to dub in Canada apparently. Toronto's like discount New York. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I know like Toronto's probably a big hub. Wait, Toronto's not the capital of Canada though, is it? Is it? No, it's not. It's like. Am I thinking of another? No. Yes. No. No, Ottawa is. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like I guess like discount New York is right then, isn't it? Like New York in America is like such a hub for everything going on in the world. In the same way that like New York and Los Angeles are probably the two biggest hubs for like things going on. Neither of them are the capital of America. Washington D.C. is, which is interesting. It reminds me back in like was it Hamilton where it has that line where it's like as like because we'll have the banks, we're in the same spot, you got what you need, because they're on about like, why didn't you make New York the capital? It's like, well, we have all the banks now, it doesn't matter, go have your capital, we have all the money. And it's like, okay, kind of shitbag move, but also pretty smart as a political maneuver. That was genius. Good on you, Alexander Hamilboy. Yeah, it's like, I think about that, like, cities. I think of, like, Sydney, right? Sydney is not the capital of Australia. Is it Melbourne, which is the capital? No. Capital of Australia. I'm sure it's Melbourne. Capital of Australia. Not Austria, Australia. Canberra? Wow, I thought I was well off. Ottawa is our capital because Queen Victoria thought it was pretty. That's about it. Well, I guess there's worse things to be named after. You know, like, I think it's in Cleveland, in America, Cleveland, Ohio, where apparently the lakes, the rivers are so toxic that you can set fire to them, and like there'll be fires on the waterways and such, which is insane to me. Yeah. Though, okay. I'm just having a look at the geographical location of it. At the very least... Oh, wait, no, it's not. Never mind. Well, No, okay, yeah. Man, it's really close to the American border, realistically, isn't it? I don't know why. Maybe this is, like, too narrow-minded. I've always thought that, like, capital cities should be more centralized. Like, it's more of a central hub for a country. Though I also understand that a lot of capital cities aren't built around that idea. A lot of them have like grown to power, especially like old countries, right? Maybe this isn't really the case in like the Americas and such, but like in old European countries, when like most places were originally like old city-states before becoming wider empires and countries. A lot of places simply just had like a lot of commerce, or a lot were situated well. Like, a lot of coastal towns and such are like massive trade hubs, and so I can understand if like a massive trading city is like part of is like the capital of a place, because it's like a big hub area. Though I also still think that in terms of use, having a more centralized capital city would benefit so many countries. Like 70% of the country live 100 kilometers from the border. Oh, I didn't know that. I guess it makes sense. Like, a lot of the further north you go, the less, shall we say, hospitable, or go as far as to say habitable it becomes. Yeah, I'm just looking here now on the map. Oh, I think I mentioned this the other week as well. Like, it's really cool that, like, so it's largely believed that Icelandic travelers would have been the first people to arrive in America. Likely in Canada, probably would have had to go over the Labrador Sea and into North Canada, and we do have like old artifacts and such, and we found evidence of old settlements from Icelandic travelers and such. So they probably would have been the first people outside of North America. By the way, is it called South America or Latin America now? Did it get its name changed? I heard it got its name changed. Or is it still is it known as both? I guess it's still known as both. Okay. Why is it called Latin America? Okay, maybe this is too complicated of a question to ask. Latin America is just where they speak Spanish and Portuguese. Imagine getting beaten by the Spanish. He says, knowing that Queen Elizabeth II. Yeah, Queen Elizabeth I even spent most of her life fending off Spanish invaders, or at the very least trying to beat them at the trade routes. Latin America. Latin America is the region. Okay. So that's in. Oh yeah, I always forget. I always think Mexico is part of like South America. No, it's more like central, so it's classified geographically as like on the North American continent, isn't it? I guess I mean North American subcontinent, realistically, because they're all together one giant North and South America together, just one giant supercontinent, which are basically the Americas. But yeah, I guess geographically, Mexico is classed as part of the North American subcontinent. Isn't geography? Actually, no, I hate geography. It annoys me. I was more of a history guy. Central is really North America, and the US don't like to say that. Oh. That's odd, because they've never really... Again, maybe this is a European brain. There's never been really a distinction here. It's like, yeah, basically, until you get to, like... Hang on, what's the top country here? Yeah, until you get to, like, I don't know, Colombia, it's like, yeah, that's, like, North America, right? Anything south, Colombia and south is, like, South America. Though, again, this is all, like, binary geographical determinations, right? To try and narrow it down to that is to try to geographical locations like that is to, I guess, how do I put this? A simplification of the geographical landscape and the cultures which are brought about it. I mean, I said before, it's weird when you have people say, oh, I'm going to Europe, and that doesn't explain anything. If you say, okay, I don't hear anyone say, I'm going to South America. Because it's like, that doesn't say anything at all. Again, it's like, well, where? Are you going to Brazil? You know? Is someone saying by the way, that's like one of my favorite memes on the entire internet. People going into people's chats and saying, come to Brazil. I think that's so fucking funny. But then as soon as you bring up, yeah, I'm actually going to Brazil, they're like, oh no. Oh. Oh, dear. No. Like, no. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to come to Brazil. No, 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 no. No, 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 don't do that. No, it's okay. I was gonna no, 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 no. You stay over there, little guy. You stay over there. It's okay. We're fine. And then they listen, man. No one's gonna say this to you. Brazil sucks. It's like the Philippines, right? Never have I seen people so patriotic and yet so spiteful of their own country. Like, oh man, yeah, we love the Philippines. It fucking sucks here. I was gonna visit a friend who lives in the Philippines. She's Filipino. I was gonna visit her maybe last year, but it was like summer, and I'm like, she's like, yeah, listen, Elijah, don't do that. Like, you'll die. It is gonna be so hot and humid if you come to the Philippines in summer. Maybe in like spring or maybe winter even. Don't come in summer though. It's just you'll die. You'll not find it a pleasant experience. And I'm like, I was also asking, hey, so like Winter. Her name's Winter. Like, Winter, how likely am I to get robbed if I go there? She's like, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. It's pretty likely. I think Mexico is lower, but it just got separated from being called Well, it's interesting you said that, because apparently Mexico and Texas used to be, like, the same place, I guess. Until there was, like, a divergence, which also explains why there's such a large amount of, like, Mexicans living in Texas, just because they're geographical neighbors, essentially, right? Man, it weirds me out. The amount of places in, like, how many states in America could be treated as their own country, realistically? That's incredible to me. There are places which are bigger than most European countries. It weirds me out that it's not. Tex-Mex cuisine. Well, that's the thing, right? A lot of people are like, oh man, this chili is not like a true Mexican. Like, no, you're a fucking moron, because you don't know the history of it. Most Mexican cuisine is as you said, Tex-Mex. It's not one cuisine. Though I guess also, I've talked about this before, people getting really fucking uppity about their own history of food, and be like, oh, that's not traditional. Like, nothing is traditional in food. Right, listen, you could be what Italians did and write a book about how something must be made by traditional means, otherwise it cannot be classified as such. And you can also think, wow, that's complete bullshit. You know, people are like, oh man, traditional chili doesn't have beans in it. Who fucking gives a shit? Who fucking gives a shit if your chili has beans or not? You know? You could have a whole bean chili if you wanted to, maybe no vegetables. Listen, beef's pretty expensive nowadays. Like, maybe you can't afford to get a nice cut of beef for your long-stewed chili. I don't know, it's extra funny seeing the difference between Italian and Italian-American cuisine. Yeah, the thing is, like, oh, that's not real Italian cuisine. It's like, nothing is, what is real Italian cuisine? Right? How long does it have to be before it's real Italian cuisine? Again, tomatoes, not native to Italy. They got brought over in, like, the 1600s by, like, Spanish and Portuguese traders, who in turn brought them from the Americas. Right? There's nothing Italian about tomatoes, and yet they're seen as like a staple of Italian cuisine. Even then, Italians were actually Italians were thought to be poisonous. Italians are poison. Tomatoes, pasta comes from China. That makes sense, actually. I didn't know that, but that makes sense. I mean, any kind of like wheat and like water or egg mixture. Would it actually? I want to see the origins of this. Did it actually come from China? Because, like, I imagine that would have been a thing we'd been able to invent for years. Or was it like noodles? We got came from them, and then it spread around. Pasta coming from China. This is fascinating stuff. I love food history. Legend has it that spaghetti is descended from noodles. Okay, hang on. This is Today Online. Okay, can I have like an actual like source? Do you find that really annoying? You're trying to find information about something, and there's like. There's no source. You're like, this doesn't look trustworthy. Noodles spread from that region. Right, okay, I can see that. Like, Man, okay, so I saw this video, right? It was on a Hainanese chicken, I think it was. It's like a boiled chicken dish. And it looks good, right? It looks good, and you have it like a spicy sauce. But, like, this video I saw, it said something, and it really annoyed me. It's like, use chicken thigh to make sure it tastes juicier. And I'm like, it stays juicier. And I'm like, what? What? What do you mean? Using chicken thighs because the bone, and I say choose chicken thighs because the bone makes it juicier. I'm like, what do you mean by this? How is that the case? How does having a bone make something juicier? Now, I tried looking this up. Of course, the first thing that comes up is some bullshit AI answer, which is like, I don't want to trust that at all. Just because it's probably getting sources from a bunch of different sources from all over the show, which, while leading to a coherent answer, may not even be accurate. Which is the problem with AI. Now, dear me, I'm terribly sorry about that. The AI answers make me want to Yeah, I know what you mean. Now, thing is, when I had a look further into that, okay, can I find any websites on it? Maybe like, America's Test Kitchen. Maybe that, I don't know. A lot of them are like talking about steak, and I'm like, no, I want chicken. Does bone-on chicken taste juicier? Okay, and what's the science behind that? Because that sounds like an old kitchen myth, right? Like, this is constant myth. Oh, if you put olive oil in water, it makes your noodles not stick together. Your pasta in general not stick together. I'm like, I used to do that. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense because the pasta just floats to the top because the oil and water don't mix. And it's like, yeah, that is absolute bullshit. Adding oil to your pasta will not stop it from sticking together. There's no emulsion at all to make that ever be possible. Also, how does that work exactly at all? It's all like an old kitchen tale, an old wise tale, I guess, which is just like, oh, well, you do it because it's been passed down for generations. Like, no, it's bullshit. It's utter bullshit. I'm at a point now where I'm good enough at cooking and like I research enough about it where I'm like, why is that the way it works? Why does that happen? You know, is there any kind of like gastronomy studies on why this thing? Is it the pasta stick anyways? The starch is what makes your sauce good. Well, that's another thing, right? So like, man, when people get very uppity about like washing rice. Now, washing rice was not like a common thing in Europe. It's not like a common thing in Europe, right? It's a thing from Asia, which has been... I mean, people... I remember watching this, like, old Niji Sanji clip, and it was like, fucking Niji Sanji, like, always wash your rice, and it's like... And there's always so many cooking videos, like, always wash your rice. I'm like, no. Wash your rice if you are using a type of rice which would prefer that to happen. Do you know how many types of rice are there in the world? Types of rice. There are hundreds of types of rice. Okay. How many types of rice? Let's try that instead. There are like dozens and dozens upon dozens of rice there. How many types of rice are there? Let's have a look at this. Apparently there are over 40,000 varieties of rice, according to the riceassociation.org.uk. 40 fucking thousand. Right? Believe it or not, most of them do not need, at least many of them do not need washing. In fact, many of them do not want you to wash them, again, to starch and make the sauce. Something like a risotto or a paella. We call it paella over here. Apparently it should be paella, but whatever. It's like, yes, this kind of rice doesn't need washing because you want the starch. If you're making like a pilaf where you're going to be like toasting the rice grains first, people are like, why would you wash that? You have no need to wash that when you're just going to be like deliberately trying to get browning on it. If you wash it, it's gonna make that take way longer and be way more difficult of a process to do, right? And like people being fucking assholes, being like, oh, can you tell how this? I go on a lot of rants, don't I? About like people I think are being stupid. It's just like paella with the L's. Yeah, apparently that's a real common pronunciation over here. Though I guess it should be paella, right? Isn't that the original pronunciation for it? But yeah, it's like, people be like, oh, you always must wash your rice. Like, no, you don't. Shut up. Wash your rice if you are using a type of rice which prefer it. I used to not rice at all. No, not rice at all. Wash. What? Not wash rice at all when I first started cooking. And it's like, oh, well, the thing is, I was using a lot of basmati rice and found, oh, basmati does generally turn out better if you do wash it beforehand, so because it doesn't end up as gloopy, right? And the thing is, people are like, oh, this is the way you cook your rice. There are literally hundreds of ways to cook rice. If you have liquid and rice and a way to heat up that liquid, you can cook that rice. You can cook rice in an oven. You know, if you want like a massive amount of rice, you can just cook rice in an oven, put some water in an oven dish, put some rice in, put some tin foil on top of it, and then it's like, cool, bake that. You've baked your rice. Now you have tons of rice available. And obviously you can use a rice cooker as well. That's fine. I don't have a rice cooker, so I don't really need to get a rice cooker. Would it be useful? Maybe. I think maybe if I was by myself, I would get one. But, yeah. But, I don't know. It's like... I don't know. It exhausts me thinking, man, there are all these things about food which are like very easy to figure out if you just use a bit of forethought, and you don't even need to research it, just a bit of common sense, right? There's a bit of common sense can make you reveal so much about food, but so many people don't care to question it, or just think, oh, well, the old masters did it this way, so surely it must be right. Well, that's not necessarily true. Listen, Marco Pierre White was a very famous, I guess it still is, kind of, British chef. Didn't really know what he was talking about, but he could make good food. He talked about the acidity in onions, and it's like, well, onions aren't naturally acidic, actually. They don't really have an acidic element. They can be astringent if raw, but they're not necessarily acidic, and like cooking them doesn't necessarily change the acidity of them. If anything, it just caramelizes the sugars in them. Once I watched a guy in my college dorm try to cook pasta without water. Explain. Proposition accepted. Please explain how he attempted. Was he using any kind of liquid at all? Oh, actually, have you ever had spaghetti alla cecina? It's like a dry cooked pasta almost, but like. Okay. So, like, you just, like, put it in a pan? Ah, okay, yeah, that won't work. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. That's just gonna... You can, like, cook it dry in a pan, it will just be dry still. You never see anyone cook it and didn't read the box. Yeah, I mean, I always forget, yeah, pasta just has it written on it a lot of the time, doesn't know how to cook dried pasta. It was smoking by the time. Oh dear. So was it just in a pan or what? Like, oh, like spaghetti alla cecina is like a really nice pasta dish where you just like kind of cook it with like you add in a very small amount of liquid, a bit at a time, so it can get nice and crusty, I guess. And it takes longer to cook than normal pasta, but like it's really nice. Though also it kind of depends on the pan that you have as to whether or not it'll be really good. Like I don't have like a stainless steel pan. I really like to get one. I like to get one of those like oven safe pans as well, so you can cook something and then put it in the oven on a pan and put it in the oven. That's what I want to get. Or like cast irons as well work really well for it, so you can develop this nice crust which you can't get on like I guess like a Teflon pan. Though after seeing a recent video about Teflon, I'm like, damn, this is fucked up. I so wish that was what was happening. Ah, I see. I'm a firm believer that everyone in the world, regardless of who you are, regardless of your creed or your upbringing, your gender or your religion, I think everyone on the planet should be able to cook at least one thing. It is like the bare minimum of survival needed for human beings to be able to cook something. I think everyone on the planet should know how to do that. With the exception of, like, babies, I guess. Because I wouldn't want a baby in the kitchen, if I'm being honest. Is that a lot to ask? I don't think that's... Maybe that's... Okay. You ever think about things like, I don't think that's a lot to ask for humanity, and then you think maybe that actually is quite a lot. Like asking people to just like be nice to each other. That's probably actually a lot to ask of people when humans are, I think, sometimes naturally inclined to just not like things, right? I think humans are kind of in a weird way not inclined to just hate things which are different from them, right? Like, there's a very funny Game Grumps bit I really liked, which is like was it they're talking about what like the first humans could have ever argued about. It's like, you're not me, and it's like, whilst it was a joke, there's like a point in there. It's like, you're not me is the ultimate thing for all humanity, where it's like we're kind of like inclined to be weary of things different to us. Steel is the way to go, so long as you know how to use it. Yeah, okay, so I was looking into this thing about like I know it's a recipe, but it's all it ended up talking about like metallurgy and how like knowing when to apply oil to like a stainless steel pan is important. And I'm like, oh, I see. Like, and like it can affect like the seasoning of the pan. Well, I guess the seasoning is more important for like a cast iron pan realistically, but like heating oil and yeah, whether you heat oil in a pan or you heat the pan first and then add the oil can like affect some things. I can't remember what it was exactly now, but it was talking about the metallurgy of it. I'm like, oh, there's actually some science here. That's interesting. Metallurgy? Metallurgy? Metallurgy. How do you say that? By the way, what's your favorite type of rice? I've used basmati rice for a long time, and I just kind of love basmati rice. I'm on this site, yeah, riceassociation.org, and it's talk about like different rice. Like all-purpose long grain rices are imported to the UK, mainly from the USA, Italy, Spain, and Suriname, Guyana, Uruguay, and Thailand. While harvested, all rice is known as rough or paddy rice, undergoes different milling techniques depending on the characteristics of the grain to give different types of rice suited to different uses. This is interesting. I'm going to favorite this page so I can use it some other time. I use jasmine mostly. Also a very nice choice. I've been recently able to find, because one of my, I normally don't have it, but one of my supermarkets near where I live has recently been having like Japanese onigario rice. Anyway, that's really nice. So I've been having that recently to like whip out on, but it's like it's expensive to buy, so like on occasion I've used it, but I do like using it when I want to use it, when I'm in the mood for it, because it tastes quite nice. Very different flavors from either jasmine or basmati, but yeah, it's very, very good. Apparently in Japan, rice has like gone up by like double the price, which is insane when it's like the biggest like agricultural development. It's the biggest like agricultural, not development, what's the word? Produce they have. And apparently the reason why it largely comes down to farmers and the population dwindling, and there basically not being as many farmers as there used to be, and not as many people getting into farms. You know, many people moved to the big city to try and make a name for themselves, which obviously is terrible to do. But many people are no longer working on farms at all, and like even if there were people, there's not enough children to keep up the current production, so rice has doubled in price over the past like year or so in Japan. Having Japgokbap as my regular rice, which is Korean multigrain rice mix. Honestly, I've not had much Korean food before, largely because, okay, I can say this, right? I live with my family at home at the moment, and I do most of the cooking for them. One of my family members is very picky about the food they eat, and also apparently for health reasons they can't have spicy food. And there's a lot of food from Korea which is very spicy, right? Obviously not all, but there's a lot. I think a lot of the food I'd like to try has some spice in it at the very least, and it's like, I basically can't make that here. Though I do find points where I just make food for myself the most liberating moments. It's really one of the things, again, which makes me want to like be able to like get out. And I think if I'm able to get everything sorted out with acting stuff, I'll probably be getting sorted out and moving, because yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of personal stuff there. Should I have said that maybe? I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of the times it's like I feel really liberated when I can just cook for myself. I remember a while ago I got COVID. No reason, by the way. I all I did was like go to work. For in terms of like going out and like going shopping and things. I guess I must have picked it up when I was shopping somehow, but it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I guess it can make sense. Anyway, I somehow got COVID a little while ago, and so I was able to just cook for myself. And for the first time in ages, I felt liberated. Like, oh wow, this is what it feels like living by myself again. This is nice. And man, that sounds like a pleasant thing to do. Okay, living by yourself. On one hand, I think it'd be great for me because I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. On the other hand, I would die of loneliness. So I need to have someone around. I'm like a is it a rabbit or a guinea pig who die of loneliness? Even if I don't talk to them, like having another human body present is important because otherwise I'll just be like, okay, why am I even alive? I get that I cook my roommates a lot and she can't handle spice. I have my best meals when she's not home. Oh, Lamette, you're after my own heart there. Ugh, I really do understand that. I really do. It's shameful and painful, but you know what? Like country girls, we must make do. Wait, actually, isn't that saying about like, you know? I think it was about that initially, but I think it's kind of transcended the initial meaning for it. Anyway, yeah, it's very frustrating not being able to just make your own food and cook what you want. So, yeah. Sometimes I'm just at a point now where it's like, yeah, I just want to make food. Also, maybe this is kind of selfish to say, but if I'm making food for someone now, I just want someone who can appreciate the food. You know, the people who I live with at the moment, all the family members I live with, I will spend a lot of work, like hours on food when I don't need to. And it's like, they'll just inhale it. And it's like, okay. This is like an hour's worth of food gone in like a matter of minutes. On one hand, it's like, oh, they liked it so much they ate it. On the other hand, can you just take your time to enjoy it? Is that too much to ask? I don't know. It's the point where I could literally give them fucking a pile of shit and they'd eat it, and it's like, okay. Maybe that's very entitled to say, but is it a lot to ask for someone to just like appreciate your food? You know when like people are like, oh man, like this is gonna sound really cringe. Food is just substance. Yeah, I just don't like that anymore. At this point, I'm just like, man, food is great if you just explore with it. This is like really cringe to say, right? But like, you know when it's like this post where it's like, men only want one thing and it's blank, and it's like, you know, those kind of posts, and they're like kind of cringe but also kind of funny and also kind of sad. It's like, wow, they do be like that sometimes. For me, it's like I just want someone who's willing to like appreciate my food. Who's just willing to say, wow, I'm gonna take my time and enjoy this. And if they don't like it, that's fine, right? Like, okay, what can I work on? What can it be improved for? Because that's another thing. I want to be able to like improve dishes I make. I don't want to be stagnant. There's a really nice dish I like called fezzenjun. It's spelled really weirdly. How do you hang on? I believe it's like fezzenjun. It's like okay. It's spelt like, oh, hang on. It's spelt like this. Oh god. What did I just do? I think I just copied the wrong thing. God damn it. Let's delete that. Can I delete that comment? I don't know if I can. Well, fuck me, I guess. I copied and pasted the word, but I guess it copied and pasted too much. What a shame. It was all entirely clear, yet I have no idea how technology works. Fezzenjun, but it's apparently pronounced Fezzenjun. Fezzenjun. Yeah, yeah, but anyway, that's like a dish with it's like basically a stew made with pomegranates and pomegranates, molasses, and walnuts, and it is frankly it's fantastic. It's a lovely dish. Oh, and honey as well because it needs a sweetener for it. It is honestly you can use sugar as well, I guess. It is a lovely dish. I have looked into several dozen recipes on this. Some of them I'm like, okay, again, like I've seen recipes I like use honey. I've seen lots of recipes just using a bunch of sugar, and it's like, okay, fair enough. I mean, they're both sweeteners in the end. I just like honey. I've seen one recipe use like a tomato paste based, and like, oh, that's interesting. Well, and they even admitted in the video so it's not very common or traditional to find it, but they like that. I tried it, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of don't like that tomatoey undertone to it all. Like, even when you're only using a little bit and it's being like, you're just getting the walnuts and the pomegranates a lot. I don't like the tomatoey undertones too, but other people might do. So that's a cool thing, right? You can like experiment with stuff. And, you can experiment with different spices. It's not meant to be a spicy stew. I think the most common spices you'll find in it are like turmeric, what else? Nutmeg. A lot of like warming spices, right? It's not meant to be a spicy dish, though. I guess if you wanted to, like many stews, you could put spice in it if you really wanted to, though it's just not common to do so. But yeah, if you've never made it before, Lemon, I would highly recommend it. It does take a while. Generally, you make it with either duck or chicken. Obviously, chicken's the more commonly available meat there, and it seems though more people have an issue with eating duck than chicken. I think that's just people find ducks cuter than chickens, and I'm like, well, I see ducks every day because I live in a place where ducks are very common, so maybe I'm the weird one there. But I think ducks are fine. Ducks are fine little birds. I do always think about, there's a YouTube channel called Casually Explained, and he did like Animals Explained as a tier list thing, and like ducks gave up most of their abilities for proficiency in the buoyancy skill tree. It's like the most useless skill tree, buoyancy. I'm vegetarian, but when I did eat meat, I thought duck was pretty delicious. You can do like a vegetarian version probably fine then. Obviously, you want to adjust cook times and stuff. You can have it quite like thin and loose, like more of a soup style stew, I guess, if you have a lot of liquid. It is at its best when you really reduce it down. You really like reduce it and like essentially okay, I don't have a blender at home, so whenever I make it, it takes a while because I'm having to crush up all these walnuts really fine by hand. I do have like a pestle and mortar though, which is only kind of useful, depends on what I'm doing with it. But you crush them down really thick, really, really small and fine. Again, if you have a blender, it's recommended just blend them all into like into a powder, right? So you have just like ground walnuts, essentially, very, very finely ground walnuts. Yeah, it's, what is it now? It's like, it acts as a thickener, and there'll be a massive layer of fat on it, right? And when I initially thought on it, is that from the chicken thighs I'm using, or the duck thighs? I'm like, well, yes, meat from them will leach out. No, the fat from them will leach out. A lot of it does come from like the walnuts, because walnuts are just naturally very fatty. There is like a lot of nut oil which will like leach out throughout the long cooking process. But yeah, you could very easily make a vegetarian version. Obviously, if you want to use some kind of like meat substitute, you can do, but again, a lot of those will need cooking times adjusted. Try to think of what vegetables. Cauliflower might work well with it. I've been really into like roasting frozen cauliflower lately. We got a big bag of frozen cauliflower. I just like roasting that with a bit of like fat and salt, pepper, MSG, white pepper as well, and dried parsley. Oh my goodness, it really goes a long way, right? By the way, when I first tried white pepper, I really understood, oh, this is the thing which makes fried chicken taste like fried chicken, right? I think that's like the key spice in a lot of fried chicken dishes, white pepper. At least to me, that's what makes me initially think of like, oh, this tastes like a fried chicken dish now. because it has white pepper in it. White pepper is so nice. I don't think enough people use it. A lot of people say you should use white pepper in potatoes so it's not visible. I'm like, I don't necessarily agree with that. I kind of like black pepper in mashed potatoes. Oh, man, I have a really good recipe for mashed potatoes, and I explained this once to one of my managers at work. I'm like, let me guess, you have to put a bunch of other things in it to make it taste good. I'm like, well, yeah, because potatoes by themselves don't taste like much. And obviously, potatoes do have a natural taste to them. They do. However, it's not like a necessarily strong flavor, I guess. It's not. Nope. It's not. Potatoes don't have a naturally strong flavor to them, though. That can be improved depending on how you're cooking them. Obviously, like if you're using like a dry heat, like roasting them, or if you're like steaming them, perhaps, and you're not leaching away a lot of the flavors like you would do with boiling them, that it can work better that way. And I think like just like adding in butter is always a necessary thing. Butter and milk. By the way, okay, this is another thing. They have a bit of flavor raw, but I can't get used to that. Yeah, they're just kind of not. It's like, okay, they're not like fragrant in the same way that rice is. If you taste like 3 different types of rice, going back to rice again, you know, if you taste jasmine, basmati, onigario rice, if you taste like risotto rice, and all together, right, just plain, you can there are like differences in their flavor, right? I've heard the term piquant used, and I can't remember to describe rice. I can't remember what piquant means. It's piquant. Having a pleasantly sharp taste or appetizing flavor. That can be said for some rice, I think. I've heard it said for Japanese rice specifically. There's a lot of like scents and stuff in rice, which like basmati is very fragrant naturally, and so all those can taste different. In the same way, potato does have a taste to it, but it's very muted, and I think it does need something to help accentuate it more. It's incredible how far salt will get you. Just adding a little bit of salt will get you so far. Yeah. Ugh, you know what really annoys me? Okay, so beef is like very. Actually, hang on, wait. Before I get on my beef with beef. No, I was gonna say, but with potatoes, like what I'll do for mashed potatoes, I'll just add in butter and garlic. You know, I'll like take the potatoes off the heat and I'll like empty out the pan with the water, because I'll normally use like a steamer lid basket thing to just steam them, and then I'll just like I'll just keep them on the heat basically. I'll turn the heat off, I'll keep them on the hob, and I'll just throw in some butter and garlic just to like get it going a bit, and after like the potatoes, I've just let them steam for a bit. I'll just like put them back in and mash them all up, and then add water and like I'll like milk, and I'll like lemon and parsley and salt and pepper. Like lemon, parsley, salt and pepper, and like garlic butter is like just all you need to make like great mashed potatoes. Wonderful stuff. One thing I see a lot in videos, like, oh, you always need to like heat up your milk before you do it. No, you don't. You don't need to waste time and energy heating up milk before adding it into mashed potatoes. If you just keep it on the hob, the residual heat will be more than enough to heat up the milk in a matter of seconds, whilst still keeping the potatoes warm. You don't need to heat up milk. That's a ridiculous idea. It's very wasteful. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I never heated the milk. That's great. A lot of like things that restaurants will claim to do that, and I'm like, that's stupid. Why would you need to do that? That's so dumb. Very, very silly. Silly stuff. Silly, very silly stuff. Oh dear, oh me, oh my. But yeah, I was going on a beef before as well. So one thing which really annoys me is there's a lot of like steak elitism, and I'm not a big steak guy. I've tried steak different ways, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't think steak is for me. It's fine, right? I get it. The satisfaction of chomping into a big chunk of meat. That's like a dream. But also, I'm just like, I don't know. If I'm having like beef, which I don't have as often now, again, because it's so expensive. A lot of time, I mentioned before about chili. A lot of time, if I'll make something which would be like chili based, I'll oftentimes just use beans now, just because they're so much cheaper to buy than like beef, right? It's just so much cheaper to get like a can or two of beans for like, I don't know, like 60 pence each or something like that. I don't know in Canadian cents. I know, a couple of cents, right? Rather than spending several pounds or several dollars on like meat for using it. And it's like, but anyway, but I still prefer stewed beef in the end. Like stewed beef is very nice. But yeah, I'm like, a lot of people talk, oh man, steak's the best thing ever. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, all you need to do is just like baste it with like butter and herbs. And like, well, no shit, it's gonna taste good. You're basting it with butter and herbs. Most things will taste good if you do that. Like, the way to make your beef taste the best thing ever is to add butter and herbs at the end. Make sure it's basted properly. I'm like, great, awesome. That's like saying the best way to not be poor is to be rich. Okay, wonderful. Listen, anything with enough fat and enough herbs on it is going to taste good. Because as ye old Julia Child would say, fat is flavor. And that is true. What kind of flavor? Well, that depends on the type of fat. But if you're basting anything in butter and herbs like thyme and parsley and sage, yeah, that's probably going to taste good. Anything would taste good in that. I have heard that some restaurants will do like a 1-to-1 ratio of butter to potatoes. And like, I've tried that before. Wow, that is, I don't like it. Listen, there's like too much fat you can have. I tried the one, like, this is way too much. It's like, it tastes nice, but it's kind of like sickly, right? It's like when you have something sweet and it's so sweet to the point it's sickly sweet. It's like sickly fattening. You feel bloated and it's like, feels like bad to eat. What is a heavyweight champion? Everything tastes good. Yeah, it tastes good, but like too much of it. I guess that's the moral of everything, though, isn't it? Too much of a good thing is bad for you. You know, for years there's been this like campaign like MSG is evil, and it's like, no, MSG is just like it's like a type of salt basically, but also just like salt, you don't use a lot of it, and it can be bad for you in high amounts. But just having a little bit on your food as a seasoning, you can probably use less MSG than you do normal salt, honestly. Having a little bit goes a long way. I feel they have to be doing something to emulsify it, because I've never gotten it to work as well. So a lot of places say, oh, you need to use a ricer, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not getting a ricer just to make mashed potatoes really fine. But like, I just don't think you need that much butter in potatoes. I really don't think you need that much. It's way too heavy. Granted, I imagine when a lot of restaurants are using this, restaurants generally tend to also serve small, at least fancy restaurants doing this, will tend to serve smaller portions. So I guess if they're using these like massive amounts of butter in their potatoes, they're making large batches which can be served throughout the night in fairly like small portions, right? A lot to be served with other dishes. So I'm like, okay, I can understand why that would make sense there. But man, the more you look into it, like, the more you realize how much a lot of these, like, restaurant-style dishes do not work or are even sensible for usage in a home kitchen. And that happens all the time. I'm not just, like, with, like, the fancy dishes where it's like, oh, yes, we're going to make all this fancy roll and make things look delicious and gorgeous. Things, if you want to make a dish look great, that's fine, that's perfect, that's wonderful that you want to present it nicely. Presentation is something I want to work on for food. Again, probably not for here because no one would give a shit, but for myself, if I'm learning by myself, I want to be able to work on presentation for food. If not, just so I can post pictures of the food I make in Discord. I really have to be doing something to... yeah. No, I don't think I posted on Discord, actually. I had, like, a really good picture of a cheesecake. I meant like a Basque cheesecake earlier in the week. Or was it last week now? I can't remember. I guess it was last week now. And I don't know if I posted a picture of it, because it looked really nice, though. And it was very delicious. I used a recipe which used more egg yolks, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. By the way, okay, am I weird for not liking eggs? I don't like eggs at all. Obviously, I use them in cooking and, like, baking and stuff, because they don't taste like eggs then. They're, like, mixed into other things. But I don't like eggs at all. They taste gross to me. I never liked them. I can eat them, I guess, in rice if they've been roasted only a tiny bit, but, like, I don't like eggs at all. I'm an egg hater too. Oh, Lamette, thank you. Lamette, you, like, validate me so much. It's like all the things I'm like, hey, is this weird? And you're like, nah, bro, I got you. And I'm like, oh. Lamette, you are sweetness incarnate. I don't like eggs, though I'll get them for the sake of cooking. What did I have in here? Oh, I had onigiri. I made some rice balls a little while ago. I forgot about that. That's cool. I'm trying to find the pictures of the thingy bobs. Or the thingies, the cheesecake, because I didn't post them apparently, but it's okay. Anyway, I had a really nice Basque cheesecake, and it had like a really like burnt top, and it was really really good. And man, that was lovely. I'll see if I can post them on Discord, so I can just get them up on screen here. There we go. I try to hide eggs in my food because I know it's healthy, I just can't eat them. Are you allowed to eat them as a vegetarian? I guess they're not technically meat, are they? Oh, I just remember. Okay, listen, I'm all for like... I used to be very picky as a child. As an adult, I can understand wanting to try out different types of food from around the world. You're seafood sometimes, I was just like, no, that's disgusting. There's a dish in the Philippines called balut, which, oh god, it's like a fried chicken embryo. And I'm like, that looks disgusting. That looks vile. And extremely, I don't like the idea of balut. It does not make... It's very uncomfortable to look at and very unpleasant to see. Not a big fan of balut, honestly. That's a point of contention. Typically, Western vegetarians eat eggs, but I know in India, a few other places where eggs are not allowed. Interesting. Fascinating. Well, that would be like, I guess there as well, they're working on, like, laws for either Hinduism or Buddhism, normally, aren't they? Which, I guess, doctrine then will dictate it. They'll also, like, I know there's, like, dozens of different texts for Hinduism and Buddhism. Though I guess lots of people could just be, like, morally inclined to be like, yeah, you know, I don't want to eat meat. Okay, I find it really interesting when people are like, I'm a vegetarian just because I don't like the taste of meat. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I feel like humans are, like, naturally inclined to like the taste of meat because it's, like, high in a lot of things which are good for us. Though I guess, yeah, it does happen where people are just like, yeah, I just don't like it. Not my thing. It's okay, I guess. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I mean, you know, I just don't see the point in eating it. I mean, I could have a nice, tasty salad. Actually, I think salads can taste good. I used to be very anti-salad. After figuring out, like, oh, I can just, like, make my own salad and have what I want in it and make my own dressings and stuff. It's like, oh, yeah, salad can be good if you just are in charge of it and you don't let somebody in charge. Also, if you make sure it's, like, not a sopping wet mess, because that's important as well. Hang on, let's see if I can get, like, a picture of this cheesecake. Okay, I'm just gonna screen share very quickly. Hang on. How do I... Okay. Can you see that? That's a bit small. This is like the cheesecake I made. Hang on. There we go. This is like a bad photo because it's all very pale, but hang on, it looks good, I swear. It's very big and dense. It collapses a bit as well as it shrinks. It was a very like dense cake. It was very thick. But yeah, very nice cake. This is a bad cross section because I didn't clean the knife in between cuts, but that's okay because it tastes good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was very good cake though. Very wonderful, very delicious. Yes, lovely stuff. Like, salad good. It's just about balance. Yeah, that's true. I think as well, like, I feel like if people are, oh, it's salad, oh, you just put lettuce in. No, you don't. Like, listen, also, there are like different types of lettuce, right? Like, a nice crunchy lettuce is very good. You can get like really soft lettuce and stuff, soft greens, like, what's it called? Rocket? Rocket leaves are like, I think they're really gross because they're really just bitter. Yeah, I think a lot of like ideas people have about like salad, it's like bitter leaves and such. And I think if you're just in charge of it, you can make like a salad which is not bitter leaves. So yeah, make your own salads, folks. Also, I think the best piece of advice I've heard about making a salad, if you want croutons in them just to give a bit more bite and stuff to the dish, you can just get some like flatbread or pita bread and just like cut them up into little pieces and fry them in a pan with some oil or butter, and then just add them into the dish at the end. And it's like, oh, now you have these little tasty little bread chips, because that's basically what croutons are. They're just like essentially just little pieces of toast. A little piece of toast in your bread. What's it called? It's that. Is it rusk, where it's like twice baked, or it's like cake, which has been, or bread, which has been like baked already? Oh, arugula. Okay, right. Sorry, Britishisms. Yeah, I guess saying rockets out loud, it does sound like, why are you eating a rocket? Yeah, arugula. And I have heard that quite a lot. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. What was I gonna say? No, I know that people don't like that though, because I personally don't like it either. My experience in the past has been this is extremely bitter and unpleasant. Rocket is a cuter name. Yeah, it is. It's funner as well, right? It's nice to imagine. I don't know why I got that name though. Why? Well, let's have a look at this. Perhaps there's some etymological reason behind it. Why is arugula called rocket? What's this? What's the source of this? Cooksinfo.com says that rocket is the original name for the arugula is native to the Mediterranean region from southern Europe. It is also known as rocket. The name rocket comes from the northern Italian word ruchetta, or ruchetta. The Italian word for arugula is rucola, or sometimes rochetta. In Latin, eruca was a type of cabbage, and the English word rocket, the German word rauch, and the Italian rucola can be traced back to that word. That's a lot of stuff. I guess it comes from the old Italian names for him, though. Which makes sense. Yeah. Interesting. Well, there you go. Now you can call it rocket. You can say I'm eating my rockets. I'm eating rockets. Got a problem eating rockets? And you'll be like, ew, you're British. What happened? And like, well, you see, there's this guy. He's named Elijah. He's a bit of a twat. You won't shut up about... You won't shut up about all these Britishisms. Absolute fucking knobhead. Fucking hate that guy. Should get decked in the head. I think I've said this. People have made fun of my laugh before in the past because they say I sound like a hyena. I kind of don't really mind that. I think hyenas are cool. I'm okay being a hyena. You know, they're cool animals. Very poorly understood for a long time as well. Many people thought they were an actually hermaphroditic species, but no. It turns out the large the large penis, pseudo penis, No, yeah. So people assumed they have both male and female genitalia. No, females have different genitalia to males. They do have essentially though a pseudo penis, which is the large amount of testosterone in their bodies, in the sacs they're in at birth. I can't remember what they're called. It's the fallopian sacs. I don't know. That sounds wrong. That's probably almost definitely wrong. But essentially they're filled with testosterone at a very young age, during development. Even not during development, and essentially makes their clitoris grow to an extremely long degree to make it look like a sort of pseudo penis. Also, rather disturbingly, the birth canal is also located in said clitoral pseudo penis, and so birthing can be an extremely painful process, even more so than in humans. And many pups or cubs, I don't know what the term would be for a baby hyena. What's a baby hyena's called? Either way, many of them can die during childbirth. Baby hyena. Is it a cub or a pup? I spelled that wrong. Ba-bum. Baby. Baby. Apparently there's a cub. Okay. That makes sense. Cub. Apparently they're more similar to cats, biologically speaking, than dogs. Yeah. But yeah, well, I don't know how I got onto this. Yeah, people make fun of my laugh sometimes, though I'm okay with that, because hyenas are pretty cool. Also, hyenas, very interestingly, a rare example of a matriarchal species in the wild. Female hyenas tend to be the ones in charge of hyena clans, or at least the ones dictating who can stay and who goes. There's actually a very interesting culture in hyenas where different members can forge alliances and stuff, and in order to try and gain favor in a clan or rise the ranks. It's very interesting. Hyena sociology, hyena. Social standing rather than sociology. Maybe it is sociology. I don't know. Hyena social standing and the study and the specifics of it is fascinating stuff. I'd highly recommend getting involved. Don't get involved. Don't get involved. It's a recipe for disaster. Hyenas will fuck you up. But it's very interesting to study. No, hyenas are very dangerous though. I know, like in the Lion King film, the hyenas in that were a bit dumb. Or they were still dangerous, I guess. They're a bit incompetent, but they were still dangerous. Hyenas are extremely dangerous in real life, though. They will go after lions and stuff if they have big enough numbers. Of course, a one-on-one, a hyena will get decked by a lion and will die instantly. But if they're in a large enough group, they will go after lions if they can. And this being the case where hyena clans can go anywhere from maybe around between 10 and 20 members to over 100. So if you have a large enough group, they will go after them. I was watching a video, I think it was was it Casual Geographic? Anyway, I can't remember the name now, but they did a video recently all about whether humans can actually, if 100 men versus a gorilla, who would actually win. And he basically said humans could probably win in the long run, but it would heavily depend on if they can maintain the mentality to keep fighting. Because unlike gorillas, unlike humans, gorillas are not meant for, they're not built for long stamina, right? Humans are very interesting that we're one of the few species designed with stamina in mind. Whilst many animals can run quicker than us, they can only do that for short bursts of speed, for lasting a couple seconds. To maybe a few minutes at most. Humans can go for a much longer amount of time. Obviously, they may still give up a hunt if they think it's not worth it, but humans are very good at maintaining stamina and I guess in a hunt, fighting for a longer period of time than a lot of other animals, which makes us pretty unique biologically. Many animals struggle to take part in the long haul, as it were. So yeah. I'm just double checking something here. One moment. Just a moment. Un momento. Apologies, let's just checking something on my little telephonic communication device. Thank you for the hyena knowledge. No, thank you for listening to me talk about hyena knowledge. Man, it's nice streaming. I don't have anyone to talk to in real life, so it's nice being able to just, like, talk to strangers and they'll just be like, wow, that was really not interesting, but hey, at least you're happy, kid. And I'm like, thank you, appreciate that. I always appreciate an info dump. Man, I love explaining things. You ever, okay, right? Can I, this movie, okay. So, I've heard, like, a lot of people say that, like, a lot of girls specifically, right? Say they like it when, like, people info dump. Like, when guys give, like, I don't know, where they just go on, like, a weird rant about something, and I'm like, I don't really get it. I kind of got it recently. I was watching, do you know Mari EN? Mari underscore EN. She's a VTuber. She recently got made a part of the group FaZe Connect. The company FaZe Connect is like one of their invaders branch. And I've only seen little bits of her before, but I saw a clip of her recently, and it was her just like autistically talking about Pokemon for like 20 minutes straight and not shutting up about it. And I'm like, this is very endearing. Oh, I get it now. I get what all these girls are talking about. Just this, like, funny anime girl just, like, talking about Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness and not shutting up about it. And just be like, this is really endearing. I could sit here and listen to this all day. Please, this is wonderful. This is great. And I understood it in that moment. Like, oh, that's what they've all been talking about. Yeah, about something about... Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I've never really had... Okay. This is going to sound really sad. I don't have anyone who's ever had that kind of thing with me. Whenever I've tried talking with people about things in the past, I feel like I've often been shut down. I've met a lot of people who have basically not been interested in what I have to say in real life. Or at the very least have shut me down from talking about things because, I don't know. Maybe not because they're bad people, because they're not suited for it, I guess. If anything, it's made me realize something about what I want in people, what I don't want in people. You never want someone who will make you feel bad or feel ashamed of being yourself. And if being yourself means going on some, like, going on some rant about food or hyenas clitori? Is that like the plural for it? Or, I don't know, me talking about the Digimon movie and, like, being hyped about Greymon beating up a fucking parrot. I think if you can, like, I think if you can find people who are, like, genuinely, like, okay with listening to you just yap about that kind of stuff, I think that's a wonderful thing. That's a gift. I think people are inclined to not want to pay attention to things not involving themselves. So if you can, like, find someone in life who is not only okay with that, but actively encourages that, my god, you've hit the jackpot. You must do whatever you can to keep them in your life, okay? Limette, if you have people in your life who are okay listening to you yap about anything, you keep them around. And if people... If like, people you know, if you're okay listening to them yap, you make sure they appreciate that. I mean, I don't know how you do that, but, you know, just, there's a lot there's so many times in life where people could just shut you down. The idea of someone just being like, wow, that's awesome, keep talking, right? And you don't need to say anything. You could just keep listening to them over and over. That's awesome. What a wonderful feeling. What a wonderful gift of life to have someone who's just willing to you're very lucky, several people even, right? Have people in your life who are like willing to just listen to you yap about something, even if it may not even relate to them in any major way, right? Like, that's awesome. What a wonderful thing, right? I remember there's a comic, a webcomic. I've not read it in a while, but it was very funny. It's called My Giant Nerd Boyfriend. It's on Webtoons. It's just like a little slice of life kind of comic thing about a girl talking about her, like, her and her, like, boyfriend's relation. I think they're married now, actually. Relation. She talk about how, like, he just, like, talk about Magic the Gathering. And she's like, oh, that's cool, I'm interested. And the thing is, when they're living together, it's like, it's all the time. And it's like, bro, I'm trying to take a shit, please leave me alone. And he's like, oh, yeah, so this new blue deck just came out. Yeah, blue deck's great. Please let me please leave me alone. I'm trying to go use the toilet. That's very funny. It's very funny. I think everyone needs a soapbox a bit for the mental health. Is that the term soapbox thing? I've never heard that. I've heard the term fridging before. Do you know what fridging is? Like as a literary device? It's when you like kill off a character for shock value, and nothing about that death grants any kind of meaningful impact on the story, nor was there any kind of meaningful build up to it. It was just like shock value death. Said that when I bring up YouTube, it's like an unskippable cutscene. Wait, YouTube as a platform, or just like a video you've seen on YouTube? Because there's a big difference. If you bring up YouTube as a platform, I imagine there's almost nothing good to say about it. Thing is, if your roommate, Yu-Gi-Oh! Autocorrect... Honestly, that's very based of you, though. That's Omega based. Oh, that reminds me. I mentioned... I think I think I said it to you yesterday. I don't know if I brought up Rush Duels. Rush Duels might be something you'd be interested in. So, it's a Japanese-only format at the moment. What is it? I'm sure I have an image of them available. Hang on. Oh, I can't be bothered making a new image thing. Okay. Rush Duels... Actually, no, you know what, I'll do it. Why not? Do I have them still? So Rush Duels is like a Japanese format only. It's got completely own unique card pool with its own unique cards and designs and original cards, as well as like old cards brought in. It's a much lower power level for the game. It's much easier to understand and easier to get into. Oh, they did add it to Duel Links. Yeah. I don't play Duel Links. I'll use like simulators like EDO Pro to play the games, because I don't want to play with people who are super sweaty online, and I also don't have anyone to play with normally, so I'll just play against like bots online, but I have fun with that anyway. And it's like, oh man, Rush Duel's very fun. Rush Duel's like all the fun things about Yu-Gi-Oh! It turns out I actually really like being able to play the game. When you play normal Yu-Gi-Oh! And the game is over within like 2 turns, that's not a fun feeling. One of my favorite games I've ever played on Yu-Gi-Oh! Was on Master Duel. I was playing a deck called Amazement, which are like cool, like an amusement park staff, I guess. Oh, simulates the better Duel Links to cesspool, but I still go back. Ah, I see. I never gotten into Duel Links. I don't really plan to. I'm completely fine without Duel Links. But yeah, it's like what was I gonna say then? Yeah, so it's like I was playing Amazement, and the other person was playing Labyrinth, which are like... I don't actually know what Labyrinth are. I just know there's like a hot lady who's like the leader of them. Like a weird fiend deck. The best Labyrinth and Amazement are both trap-based decks, and so they're naturally a bit slower than other decks. Man, that game lasted 11 turns, and it was so fun. It was so fun being like, oh, you activate this trap card, well, I activate this trap card. And I was like back and forth. I'm like, wow, this really exemplifies the best in Yu-Gi-Oh! This really exemplifies what is good about the game. And it kind of made me realize, wow, I will never have this without playing another game against Amazement. I lost that game, by the way, and it was like, oh man, I really understood though what I could have done better. And things like that, and it was a really, really fun experience. Like, I understand how this card works now. I'll have to keep that in mind for another time. But yeah, it was very disappointing realizing, man, normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Sucks. Outside of this one instance, how rare is it to find it? Or rather, it doesn't suck. Rather, it's better when you're just playing for fun with people who you know, who you're just willing to have fun with and mess around with decks. If you're playing like top tier stuff, it's what a boring mess. I play against a coworker. We both had stall decks of 45 minutes of. I used to play against my brother and a mutual friend, and they both ran Exodia Turbo decks. They were the most obnoxious things to play against, especially when they pulled out Mystic Mine, well regarded as one of the most toxic cards in the game's history because it's such a boring stall card. I despise Mystic Mine, but I would play like something like Volcanics, and they would be like, yeah, Mystic Mine Exodia Turbo, let's go. Mystic Mine haunts me. Oh, that's the other thing as well. They would run these Exodia Turbo decks, and what's that card? Is it Final Countdown, where it's like after 20 in-game turns, you win the game? They'd play Final Countdown as well. So if they weren't able to get Exodia, they would just stall the game until they win. I've seen the new Exodia stuff. It does look very fun. Yeah. And they have like a bunch of cards all referencing the Millennium items and such. It's very, very cool. That stuff is cool, right? That kind of Yu-Gi-Oh support is fun and cool. But it's more like, what was it? What were they called? There was a bunch of like, they were like mermaids, but not mermaids. I know for a while it was like a tier 0 floor, and I'm like, oh, this is tier 0. And it's like, you know, when like the only viable deck is this one deck. What were they called? They're like weird. They were like, what were they now? Not Abyskite. What were they called? They were like fish girls. They were like mermaid ladies, and they were like really, really strong because everything they did just let them combo into everything else they did, and it was really boring to play again. I played against them one on Master. I'm like, well, I guess I'm just not going to play this game until these guys are removed from the game, because that was the least fun I've ever had in the game ever, basically. But yeah, no, the new stuff like the new Exodia is really fun. When you just there's an inherent problem with card games, right? Where, especially in a game like Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's not Mermail. What were they called? They weren't necessarily mermaids. They were more like merfolk. What were they called? Tier 0 Yu-Gi-Oh decks. Let's just see here now. Tier Laments. Like Tear and Lamentation. Tier Laments. Man. Ooh. Listen. Those guys suck. They are such a douche. I think also, it's a weird thing as well, where it's like, they're extremely broken. And also, if you want to get them, they're expensive as well, because they're like, they have like the waifu tax on them. Because they're all, except for like one or two, they're all like cute girls. So it's like, they're extremely expensive, and they're also the best decks in the game. And it's like, okay. Well, this is wonderful. Man, fuck Tier Laments. Those guys suck ass. Oh, actually, something which I do like. One thing which I really like about Rush Duels. Okay, so you know how like, so you mentioned Exodia before, right? It is the case where a lot of the time in Yu-Gi-Oh, where they will make support for, they'll make support, legacy support, like Exodia here, and a lot of it will often not even be that good, right? A lot of it will do very little to like support them and make them even decently playable, right? Now, obviously, if you're playing for fun, again, that doesn't matter. You can still have fun with a lot of support, even if it doesn't make it meta. And not everything should be meta, but man, look at Rush Duels. The amount of legacy cards which have been brought in, and they're absolutely fantastic in Rush is fantastic. You know, like Harpy Ladies. Everyone knows Harpy Ladies. They're like hot bird women. They're like the best deck in the game right now in Rush Duels by like a long shot. The waifu tax is real, and a bit cute decks. Like what are they called? The cute dessert creatures. They're like, they have little animals, and then they have like a princess and a butler and stuff. Madolche. They're very cute. Madolche are very, very cute. Oh, what the trap tricks are very cool. Trap tricks are cute. They're like little girls who are actually like all like insects and plants in disguise, plant monsters in disguise. They're so cool. What a cool design. What a cool mechanic behind them. They're like, yeah, well, oh, we're just like, oh, I'm a little girl lost in your forest. Like, no, I'm actually like a carnivorous plant and a man-eating insect. What an awesome design. What a cool idea. Right, just, actually, Rush has a similar concept as well. I can't remember what they're called now. They're like another thing where it's like, oh, I'm just a pure maiden who's lost in the forest. Would someone come to my aid? And they're actually like weird moth people, like trying to lead you astray. I can't remember what they're called now. But yeah, Rush has a ton of like, has a ton of stuff which makes old decks very good. Like, yeah, like Harpy Ladies are apparently the best deck in the game at the moment. Because they got a bunch of new Harpy Lady fusion monsters, which are really good in Rush Duel. And they got a bunch of, there's a bunch of really good stuff for Blue Eyes White Dragon. Blue Eyes is very good. Cyber Dragons are also quite good. Heroes, like Elemental Heroes, fantastic in Rush Duels. They got brought in, I want to say last year. They are absolutely fantastic in Rush Duels. Actually, hang on. I just need to get the thing up here. Hang on. Hang on. Is that working? Oh, no. Oh no, it's not working now. Oh no. Ah well. I was trying to show this thing. It didn't work. I have to use an image capture that, but I don't want to do that. Okay. I was gonna say there's so many like I was gonna show like the Rush Duel cards. There's so many ones which look so much cleaner, and a lot of the designs have been updated. And man, the entire game just looks way nicer than normal Yu-Gi-Oh. It's just very very pretty looking cards. I'm glad they made Rush Duel for the newer show instead of shoehorning another card type. Yeah. Honestly, I know that there's a lot of like elitism in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, oh, this isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm like, yeah, it's better than Yu-Gi-Oh! Honestly, Limit, if you give Rush Duels a proper go, I think you'll really enjoy it. You don't need to have like a spreadsheet in order to understand anything. It is a much simpler version of the game, which I imagine some people won't like, but also the game has developed massively in the last like 4 or 5 years it's been out. There's now a lot of stuff you can do, which is both complex and easy to understand. And it's just a very cool game. It's really, really fun. And, man, Rush Duel seems to focus even more on, like, waifus than normal Yu-Gi-Oh! So, I guess if you want to play a deck full of cute girls, or, I don't know, cute animal folk, you can do. I know there's a deck, which a lot of people... I've never played it, but a lot of people really like it. It's like a weird sheep deck, where you have this... The main card for it is this girl. She's like a sheep girl, kind of like Watame, but not. She's like Mama Meg or something like that, and she's the main card for them, and she has a bunch of little sheep companions. They're very cute. Yeah. They're very, very nice. What are those weird moth things called in recent Rush? They're very good, apparently. I'll have to give it a proper try. Yeah, there's a little bunch of cute people, cute sheep. Hang on, what are they? What are the moth people called? Bum ba ba bum. I just saw there's a card here called Tama Tama Bang Bomb, which sounds very, very funny. It also sounds like that one song from Grease. You know, I don't like Grease. I think Grease is a bad musical. Not that the songs are bad, I think the story in it is just fucking atrocious. Yeah, I think it's very bad. I think Grease is just like not a very good musical at all. What is it? What are they called? Wait. I think I know how to... Wait, no. What are they? No, I can't remember what they're called. Oh no. Oh dear me, oh my. Well, I don't know what they're called. But yeah, there's like a bunch of like cute cards. No, wait, no, is it Mermel? Hang on. Wait, no, I do know this. Hang on. I barely remember the plot of Grease, just the music. Grease is not good. Listen, there's a couple of good songs like "You're the One I Want," and like I got chills that multiply. Wait, no, that's the same song, isn't it? What is it? Tell me more, did you get very far? Tell me more, like does he have a car? Bop, bop, shoo-ba-dop, bop. That's a fun song. There's a bunch of fun songs in it, but a lot of them, I can't remember a lot of them, right? Because I don't think a lot of them were good enough to want to make me go back and listen to. Okay. I'll post one of them here. Animagica are a bunch of cute animal people who you might like, because they're all cutesy. Oh, there's going to be quite a limited for this. Well, interesting. Animagica, they're very fun. Well, that's just one card there, but there's a bunch of them. Oh yeah, there's a cute rabbit girl here as well. And listen, I'm biased because I like bunny girls, but she's very cute. Getting ready to leave? I don't know yet, Commodore, actually. What time is it now? It's like 6:15 over here. So, I'm still good. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I should be heading off. I don't know. I need to record some things. Oh, what to do? What should I do? Oh, I'm terribly confused what to do about this now. Oh me, oh my. But yeah, no, Grease the Musical is not very good. It does not hold up. The plot of it is absurd. And... Let's sip a water. Also, how you doing, Commodore? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Yeah, Grease the Musical does not hold up well at all. It is a... It's a romp, to be generous. It's a film, though. It's very dumb. I asked because I just got up. Well, you know what? We'll be on for a little bit longer, so don't worry about that. Bum 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 bum. Since the movie... That's funny since the movie is... No, yeah, no, Commodore, that's what we're talking about. Grease the Musical, the film. Grease. I'm saying it's bad. Right? There are like 1 or 2 catchy songs in it. The rest of it's pretty forgettable. The plot is abhorrent. Like, abhorrently bad. And also it's a really bad the finale of Grease is just like, hey, yeah, if you want to get someone to like you, you should change everything about yourself. Where the main girl, what's her name? Lindsay or something like that? Something like that. She's like, hey, I want the main guy, who's this, like, grease monkey guy, to like me. So I'm gonna dress in leather and, like, become, like, a hot bitch. Or whatever. I guess people would refer to it as a hot bitch era. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I think he liked you just for being... Sandy, what did I say? Whatever, yeah. The theory is they're dead. Oh, Commodore... Who the fuck is making theories about Grease? The plot is not that deep, but it's just stupid. Like, oh, the car flew at the end. That must mean that they're all ascending to heaven. Like, no. No, fuck off. Yeah, Sandy is just like, I'm gonna change my entire appearance and personality just so this one guy likes me. And it's like, didn't he already like you at the beginning of the film anyway? He's just like, oh, I don't wanna... If anything, he's being like, hey... He's the weird one, right? Oh, I don't want any of my... I don't want any of my boys to know I like some kind of girl. And she's just like a normal girl. She's a bit prim and proper, but like, you know, there's nothing bad about her at all. And it's like... Yeah, it's just... I think just their friends didn't get along. I think so, yeah. I think, like... They're all just kind of like, oh no, I'm afraid. What if someone judges me for liking this person who's so different from me? Like, who the fuck cares? And I get it. It's been oh, they're like high school students. Actually, can I just say, I feel like maybe this is just because of like the way schooling works over here. I don't feel like a lot of people were that concerned about that when I was in the age that these high school students in Greece were at, right? So we have like sixth form colleges over here, right? And I don't feel like anyone's really like that. In terms of like, oh yeah, the jocks. We're the jocks being... I didn't see anyone like that. I think everyone was kind of like... No one cared. Everyone just kind of stuck to their own cliques or their own groups of people, I guess. But like, also, you were okay to like whatever the fuck you wanted and no one gave a shit. I feel like it's an older generation thing, I see. Right, because when I'm like, oh, okay, so is everyone gonna be like, huh, you like anime? You're gay. And it's like, no one said that. No one was like that. In fact, I saw a lot of people like, actually, I didn't really meet anyone who really liked anime. A lot of people like Pokemon. It's like, cool, awesome. Kind of why a lot of movies and shows but teens don't land for me, because no one really acts like that. Right, yeah, It's bizarre. It is an American thing. Yeah. It's, I don't understand. I just don't understand it. What's going on here? Can someone make it make sense? Please. It's gotta make sense somehow. If it was like an older generation thing, I can totally see that. If it was very much... I don't know, like... Or like... Okay, listen, I get it. Teenagers can be fucking cunts, right? Do you have a problem with saying that? I'm gonna use it anyway. People are fucking cunts, right? And obviously, everywhere there are going to be, like, people who are just assholes. I think, in my experience, by the time you get to around 17, 18, I feel like a lot of people don't care. I think people are just kind of checked out from school. Granted, I think also there may be a thing of, like, mandatory education, right? So, like, to my understanding, like, high schools in the American sense still follow a very strict structure of, like, how schools are done. It's not the case over here, where it's like, you don't have to do all your lessons. You choose several subjects which you wish to study, and then you do them. So I guess, like, the people studying are there because they want to study it, and not because they need to. And not to mention, there's also alternatives available. Like, whilst it is mandatory to stay in education in the UK until you're 18 now, which is a law passed a while ago now, you still need to... there are alternatives to just continuing in school. A lot of people go for apprenticeships, whether things like engineering or things like that, as an example, is a very common one for apprenticeships. So, it's... I think there's a weird thing there regarding, like, do people even want to be there? Here we had some required classes, but you got to choose a lot of your courses in later years. Okay, that's good. I think that's, like, good to do. But yeah, no, like, a lot of things like, oh man, I'm 17 doing math homework. I'm like, I don't relate to that. When I got to that year, I was not doing maths. I had completely dropped that subject. I was studying literature. I was studying, I think, law for a little while, if I remember correctly. Listen, you get to my age and you go through different few cycles of life, and it all kind of blends together at the end of the day. All blends together. I practiced the law, I practically perfected it, something Alexander Hamilboy. But yeah, there's just like a lot of stuff which I feel like is very, as you said, outdated. It doesn't really track. I don't know how different schools are from Canada to America, Lamette, so perhaps you can offer some insight. Commodore, I don't know if you have any information on this, but yeah, it's always felt very odd to me. Granted, I also despised school in general, in every aspect, except for I love learning. It's hard to see ability experiences that are foreign to yours, especially when they're stereotyped as common. Yeah, you're right. And again, obviously there are horrible people in school. There are just complete dickheads in school, because teenagers are dickheads a lot of the time. There are also people who are not. Listen, I've had jobs in the past where I have worked with like teenagers and younger people. Some of them, man, I really wish I was legally allowed to hit them in the face with bricks. No, not just bricks. I was like, man, if I could, I would like throw bricks at their necks and stop them from breathing, because that would be really funny. But on the other hand, there are some people like, man, this guy is really cool. And like, they're just chill people. I guess that's just life in general, though. There are people who are like in their 50s who are just kind of assholes for no reason, and it's just like, why are you like this? When there's other people that are the same age who are just like the nicest people in the world. So I guess it doesn't really have anything to do with age at all. Some people are just assholes and some people are not. So yeah, what do you have to, what can you say about that? Except it's just the experience of being alive. My senior in high school senior year, sorry, I got a cellular phone, a telephonic communication device, a cellular phone. This was before smartphones. I did not have a phone until I was maybe 16, 17. Actually, maybe it was 17. Yeah, I think actually, I want to say it was later than 16. And people were like, oh, do you have a phone? Like, no, I don't have a phone. They're like, whoa, that's kind of cool. And I'm like, okay. And it's just I didn't like using phones. I didn't want a phone. I didn't want social media. I got on them very late because it felt like people were constantly asking about it, and it felt like in a world constantly being growingly evolved around them. It felt like something I needed to do at the end of the day, which sucks, but yeah. Oh well, it is the way it is. Oh, hang on. Un momento. I'm still trying to find these moth people from Yu-Gi-Oh! These moth girls. I had a flip phone at like 12. Man, I love I saw flip phones for the first time in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, a film which is not really that good, but one which I have very fond memories of, despite having no idea what was going on in it. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Like, whoa, these guys have flip phones and slide phones. That's sick. I think we need flip phones back. I know they kind of have them where they have like touchscreen flip phones. It's not the same. I want like a physical button. There's the caveman part of my brain which requires button pressing. No, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Wait. Advent Children? Yeah. Not Spirited Away, Advent Children. I think you're getting confused. Not Spirited Away is the Studio Ghibli film. No, I know you can still get them. Like, Spirits Within. Yes. No, Spirits Within is a different film. I saw that once. Barely remember it. Remember, I didn't really like it. I thought it was kind of depressing at the end of it, if I remember correctly. We don't talk about Spirits Within. Maybe I should watch. Maybe I should. I don't know. I always think maybe I should do watch-alongs on stream. Would Spirits Within be a good film to do a watch-along for? I don't think so. I think it'll be a fucking shit film. No. Thing is, you are right, Limit. A lot of people do use old flip phones and slide phones, especially if you are like you need just a cheap work phone. And obviously, like, oh, it's a burner phone for selling drugs. Like, no. Like, well, yes, but also, well, yes, but actually, no. People do just get cheap phones like that, like cheap, like $20 phones, $30 phones, just to have something, a separate work phone for them. And it's like, oh, that's a useful thing to do. And yeah, that's been a thing for a while. You can still get those kind of phones, and you can still get SIMs for them, and they do just exist for you to have a separate work phone you can take phone calls for, which is very, very nice, and it's something I've considered getting one day. Maybe if I'm able to get the representation, some kind of like agency representation, and get one, because that would be useful to have. Yeah, that'd probably be very nice to have even. Hang on. Still trying to find these things. Wait, I know what to do. I know how to find them. because I can't remember their names. Wait, no, I don't actually know anything. I'm still very dumb. Is it weird? Is it like obvious that I'm fucking stupid when I'm still trying to focus on this when it serves no purpose for me? No, that's your right, honestly. Most excellent. Well, actually, no, I don't know how to get it at all. What was it called? Oh, hang on. Wait, hold on. Wait. I used a burner phone for verifying my account. If you don't verify, you can't chat in a lot of streams. Oh, yeah. Hang on, did you just get a phone to do that? That's actually kind of based. Separate is nice. I have a dual SIM phone and it's the worst. It's all mixed up. I have like 2 SIM cards in my phone. No, I think I took one of them out though. It is a mess up. You are correct on that. I think just like, I think as well just having like a dedicated like work phone would be good because it means that like you're not getting any kind of like. If you get a call on your main phone, you know it's either spam or it's actually from someone you know, like a family member, a friend, or something like that. If it's work, it could still be spam, but it's also probably important, so you can keep it on hand. Okay, well, I seemingly cannot find the boys. I cannot find the boys. Here comes the boy. That's a Vine, right? Here comes the boy. I miss Vine. I also did that for Discord and ChatGPT. I thought, okay, I have enough. I've never used ChatGPT. GPT. What does it stand for, actually? GPT. What does that mean, even? It's a most peculiar thing, isn't it? Most peculiar thing. Oh, hang on. I think I found it. No, wait, Evan. No, wait, hang on. No, wait. No, wait, hang on. Hang on. Dun, 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 dun. Hang on. Wait, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Hold on. Aha! So. Wait, no. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 da, 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 da. Okay, well, I don't have it actually at all. It was but a lie on my part. I do apologize. Delirium! I just saw them then. Delirium. Fucking found them. Haha! General pre-trained transformer. Oh. Wow, that sounds really lame. I would have thought it'd be a cool name. Okay. Yeah. Delirium is what they're called. I completely fucking farted on their name. Check out these guys in Yu-Gi-Oh! They're really cool. They're a bunch of, like, cool moth girls. Hang on, let's see if I can get an image up. Okay. I agree, acting should be fun and silly, not technical. Okay. Yeah, this is one of the delirium... Oh, wait, you can't see it. This is one of the delirium cards. Yeah, this is like their main guy. Delirium Silbix? Is that how you pronounce that? Silbix. Yeah, they're a bunch of like creepy moth ladies who are all about like, ooh, oh, come into the forest and join us, young traveller. Surely nothing bad will happen to you. Surely everything will be fine and dandy if you just follow along on this trail. This trail of blood and glory. It'll all be great. But yeah, Delirium, they're apparently very, very strong. They have a bunch of effects which are like, take control of your opponent's monster. I think it is. Is that what they do? Yeah, they're all kind of like, take control of opponent's monsters. So there we go. Now my like, autistic hunt for a fictional moth lady. By the way, have you guys seen like Juniper Actius? God, what a fucking based individual. She's like, she's done so many models for herself, and all of them are like phenomenal in quality. She's honestly, like, she's very well aware that if she wanted to like rig her own, be open for commissions for models, she would like be sold out, but she doesn't want to do that. She just wants to make models for herself. And I'm like, honestly, that's so valid. That's so based. That's incredibly based of her. She's really cool. If you've not seen Juniper Actius, why the fuck are you here? Go watch her instead. Maybe she's live right now. I don't know. But she's very cool. She's like a cool moth lady. Yeah. And yeah, she's like, man, moths are kind of cool after all. Even though I normally am not super fond of moths. Moths are actually pretty easy to kill though, which I do like. I mean, what? I mean, that's kind of fucked of me to say, honestly, but moths are kind of like not very fast. So, yeah, they're pretty cool. Moths are cute though. I've seen some cute moths in the meantime. I don't like it when bugs are too fuzzy, except for bees. I think it's okay for bees to be fuzzy. Do you know there's a thing bees do? It's called queen balling. Essentially, so if a queen bee, so the hive is generally controlled by a queen bee's pheromones, right? This is pretty common knowledge. However, if a queen reaches a point where it's maybe not producing those pheromones, or if the hive members can tell that a queen is not producing as many eggs, there will be a point where the bees will attempt to kill the queen in what is called queen balling, where dozens and dozens and dozens of bees will all attack the queen at once and essentially all get into a big ball around her and start vibrating their bodies. And it's like, oh man, a bunch of people vibrating on someone, that's gonna be great. Wrong. Queen balling is because they're vibrating so much, they're actually raising their body heat, and essentially they're trying to like overheat the queen to death. And of course they'll try and sting and bite as well, because the queen's generally much bigger than a lot of the normal bees. But yeah, it's like a really like vicious process. Oh, where it's like, okay, listen guys, the queen isn't cutting it anymore. We need to kill her off. And yeah, they'll commit fratricide in order to like secure the safety of the hive. This is actually a necessary thing and can cause problems because what can also happen is that if the queen is considered to be not an optimal state, a new queen can hatch, and the bees will align some bees will ally themselves with the new queen, which can essentially cause an internal civil war within the hive until one queen is dead. This can also be that will be the case if the old queen ends up being actually fine, and so you have bees aligned with the old queen and bees aligned with the new queen because of the new queen's pheromones, and yeah, it ends up causing a big civil war until one queen dies. So bees have their own political systems and their own internal wars. Yeah, like I love the idea that a hive civil war. Apparently, beekeepers will actually like, in order to prevent this, they will, if there's any like excess eggs for queens, they will crush those eggs in order to like stop the queens from developing. There can be only one. It's the Highlander. But yeah, they will. Beekeepers will sometimes kill queen eggs, just to basically stop this from happening because it can cause havoc to the hive. You don't want to be looking after a hive only to find like hundreds of bees trying to kill each other because they're like, this queen's wrong, this queen's right. So yeah, it's really interesting. Also, apparently, the thing which turns you into queen is like royal jelly, or maybe that's just the thing queens eat. Royal jelly. I believe that's just like the food for the queens. Royal jelly. You can buy royal jelly, it's just very expensive. Imagine it's like ludicrously expensive. It's the rawest form. It's protein packs as it's excreted from the glands of worker bees. Yeah, it's like very expensive, to my understanding. Nope. Is it good on toast? Well, I imagine so. I imagine it's good on toast. Also, a lot of things are good on toast, so I don't think that's really saying much. Honey's good on toast. I didn't used to like honey. Now I really like honey as an adult. When I was very, very small, I didn't like honey at all. And now I do. I wonder what happened there. Why do I like honey now? I think I kind of like... There's a little weird, like, caramelly note to it, maybe? I don't know. Honey's really good, though. Also, if you get honey, always get it in a jar. Don't... You can get those weird little plastic squeezy bottles. Don't get those. Because, when honey crystallizes, it's easier to heat it when it's in, like, a glass jar than, like, a plastic bottle, right? You don't want to melt the plastic, which could cause, I don't know, problems down the line. Let's mention, the glass will just absorb the heat. Will just, like... Yeah, it will just, like, absorb the heat quicker than and easier than a plastic bottle would. Because normally you just need to, like, heat it up and, like, maybe, like, put it in simmering water for a little while and, like, it will liquefy again. Taste buds do change a lot. You are correct, Lamette. You are correct indeed. But yeah, I don't know. I used to hate honey and now I think honey's based. You know what? I kind of want a spoonful of honey right now. I think all the honey I have is crystallized though, so maybe that's not for the best. But I could do that. My tummy is growling now because I'm talking about food too much. I should end stream and go get some food. Okay, you know what? I do have some like recordings and stuff I need to do anyway, so yeah. Let's end it there for now. I'm okay not playing any games today, but yeah. We'll end it there. Thank you for coming, folks. I know this is kind of like a weird stream because I was just kind of like not doing much. I don't know, sometimes chatting is just pleasant though, it's just nice. Okay then, thank you so much for coming, everyone. What's this week? Probably Mystery Dungeon on Wednesday. I may start a new game actually, and carry that on at the same time as Mystery Dungeon, because I do have some new games to play. I do have Inscription now, so I may get that. I may play that instead, and we'll carry that on with Mystery Dungeon the next week. Okay, so I was very late to stream on Friday. I will be streaming the Odyssey this week. I will be doing that. I only got through one book, so if anyone wants to come in for just like a comfy reading of the Odyssey, I will be carrying on from book 4 of the Odyssey on Friday evening, UK time, like around 7:30ish, hopefully. And I will not be late for that one, I swear. Anyway. That's going to be everything for today, folks. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, afternoon. Oh, and just remember, I also need to book in like an induction into like a climbing center, because there's like a bouldering center nearby me. I'm like, oh, okay. I like bouldering. It's been a while since I've been. It'd be a good way to get out and about. So why not go there? I need to book an induction for it. So I'll go and do that as well after this. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your evening, rest of your afternoon, wherever you are. Keep well. Stay safe, eat lots of good food, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.